Hello, everybody. Welcome back to more BTS Europe Series action. I am KotLGuy. That is Blaze, and we're getting ready to hop into game number 2 of PR versus Kaipi. Blaze. Game number 1, Kaipi. Good solid start, well-rounded lineup, looking for good siege potential, great setup, great Kunkka plays, but the Alchemist got a bit too much, and as much as they were able to bring down Cheshire Cat on his Sand King, it didn't matter. In the end, he got what he needed, PR got what they needed, and they got the win.
Yeah, it ended up just being a lineup where Kaipi couldn't afford to make any mistakes. As the Alchemist got bigger, as the Temper Saw got tankier, they could kill them in isolated situations where they like 3v1. But when it came out to the 5v5, it was just really way too difficult, and all that PR had to do was just dive their heroes in. Alchemists could go around the Oracle, and they really just couldn't create the space they needed to. So they had a lot of control, needed a bit more damage, or just consider the possibility that PR might deviate into some like an Alchemist, which is not the most common hero pickup for them, but obviously it's still in the pool, and they play the cards they're dealt. So PR, another great win here. I think that's since they went 1-1 in their previous match here in BTS series, they are now 2-1 in the groups, looking to obviously take it to 3-1. Kaipi are in a pretty rough spot here at 0-3. They still have obviously 3 more games to play, but if they don't win every single one of them, I think they are not going to be able to take the group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if Power Rangers win this, then almost Kaipi the next series doesn't matter. So we'll have to see. At least
for pride, it'll always matter.
For pride, it always matters. Plus, yeah, you make that big, strong game impact. You put on a hell of a show. Maybe a tournament organizer could be watching and says, you know what, let's throw those guys into this qualifier or something. You never know. So, and you got the fans. You got to give it up to the fans, right? All right. So Kaipi, Power Rangers Game 2 draft underway here. Kaipi get rid of the Oracle, and they get rid of the Sand King here. 2 popular pickups from the previous game. Pretty much meta overall. Power Rangers rid of the ET, Darkseer, Ogre. Pick up the Kunkka Shadow Demon. Kaipi, Mirana, and Batrider. And, you know, with Kaipi and Mirana, you always want to say that there's a possibility the famous Sing Sing Mirana here, but
no, I'd say so. I mean,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, nowadays it is a thing.
Yeah, Mirana in the mid is extremely powerful when she can get a really good Aghanim Scepter timing, and you know the simple formula of shoot arrow, hit arrow. It's a good way to make the game happen and make it in your favor. But the Batrider is a little bit more of a question. Boat 7 obviously used to play this a hell of a lot in the offlane, but now 33 is taking that role, so I would presume it is that offlane Batrider, but yeah, you always got to keep those different ideas in mind. PR, very simple right now, Shadow Demon Kunkka. While we have been seeing some more like attacker-style mid-Kunkka, it's definitely more likely to be a 4-position support, and I expect some collaboration between the two. Disruption, Torrent, one of the best combos, and this is actually a draft that I was running like 6 months ago with the Shadow Demon Kunkka and Luna. The thing I like about this is the defensive supports allow Kunkka to build more, Luna to build more aggressively, where normally she has to go like BKB Manta, really defensive items. Now with a Disruption to help you out, as well as Kunkka's Rum to increase your effective HP, you can go pretty much whatever you want. It doesn't matter what the enemy team throws at you. So I really do think that the Shadow Demon and Kunkka are 2 of the best supports to back up the Luna, and just allow you to really fight effectively with your ultimate. So I definitely think that PR have a pretty good idea of what they want to do. This kind of trifecta has been shuffling around CIS for, like I said, the past 6 or so months. So I think Screen Squad was the first team that I saw drafted up, and I was like, I'm stealing that. That's good. BZZ Luna, pretty solid. But here we go. So now that we have that on the table, Kaipi have to be worried about a pretty good mix of damage, with magical and physical, both damage and control. I'm curious how they respond to it, to be honest with you. I mean, there are ways to follow up on long-range arrows and stuff like that. Range of initiation heroes are good with what they already have on the table, but they also have to kind of build up their support lineup here, and the pool is thinning pretty quickly.
Yeah, you look at a big powerhouse trio here from Power Rangers. You already can see the hand they're looking to present, so you got to find a way to pull out a bit of a game changer, I guess, so that they can't kind of segue through a cookie-cutter strategy for Power Rangers here. And this is something a little bit out of left field. We have seen some airtime here for the Warlock not even that long ago, but this could be the ticket necessary to kind of be that game changer here. We anticipate possibly this could be... well, I'm not too sure. I mean, we have typically seen a lot of the core Warlocks recently favoring going straight for the Midas, the Ags, and getting the most out of his rocks when possible. But, you know, who knows? With something like Kaipi, we could be seeing it picked up in more of a 4 position. We did see it occasionally through TI, and I remember it was, at that point, more of a niche pickup in particular. I mean, is this kind of to help combat the heavy illusion game that could be coming their way. You know, really kind of benefiting a lot from those fatal bonds. I'm really curious to see what Oracle's impact is going to be on this game. And it does not take very long at all to be able to get some follow-up pickups here. Power Rangers go into the Nyx Assassin, which you were actually talking about in the last draft for Power Rangers a bit. And then Kaipi's response is what is turned into now a bit of an unorthodox pick. We don't get to see as much of the good old Earthshaker as we used to, but I'm ready for some Echo Slams, so
yeah,
I'm excited to see it.
So one thing to note is that Kaipi have literally never played Warlock in an official match. So it's something that they've been scrimming with a bit, and they want to reveal it here. They want to say, hey, this is something we feel like it can work, and while it might be a little bit unrefined, let's see what we can accomplish with it. And I mean, Warlock is one of those heroes that has so much potential. You see Ice on Wings Gaming play that hero, and it like defines the game so many times. But I felt like it's much more appropriate in a lineup where you're on the defensive, where you're up against, let's say, a push or a hyper-aggressive lineup. The matchup I thought of at TI that really epitomized it was seeing MVP Phoenix go up against Wings, and what they did was they had a hyper-aggressive draft, the Ogre, the PA diving and being very involved. They had 4 melee heroes at least, and all it is they're about short cooldowns and keeping tempo. And Warlock is about 1 big cooldown to get all that comeback gold back and just swing 1 huge fight. And I feel like they're not really counteracting that here. Warlock is not the fight swinger here because at Power Rangers, they're fighting around their cooldowns too. They're fighting around Eclipse, their boat, etc., etc. So more so, and like even the Shadow Word might not even be that effective because Mirana isn't, before Aghanims, that's tanky of a hero naturally. So I don't think you get the full duration heal in most situations. So I'm curious how it's played, if Fluff is going to pick it up, or obviously if we're going to be seeing in Bambo. Bambo's been playing 4 and 3 a little bit here. So it's hard to say exactly how it'll play out in the game itself, but right now it doesn't seem like the strongest pick unless they are just perfectly on points with their usage of Fatal Bonds as well as the Chaotic Offering.
Final pickup though for Kaipi will be the Morphling grab here, so that looks like it will be the Bone 7 grab. And we'll have to see if that kind of identifies where everything else is going to go. We already anticipate it'll probably be Batrider then in that case on 3-3. Sing Sing could still take the Moran to the mid lane, and then yeah, we have Warlock and Earthshaker split between the other two. Part of me really wants to see that Bambo Warlock and what kind of funky stuff he can pull out with it, but with that kind of support duo here, I'm curious to see if it's going to be enough. That's 2 supports with 2 big cooldowns and 2 big ultis that they have to kind of make sure work, Blaze, because if we have a misfire really on either or, could have a bit of an awkward situation before us for Kaipi.
And now PR gets a feel of the draft, decide what they want to play for the mid lane here for Afro Ninja, assuming they don't take the Nyx to the mid or the Kunkka for that matter. And yeah, I think that they can kind of pick and choose their matchup against the Mirana pretty easily here and decide exactly what they think will be ideal. I like Juggernaut a little bit. He is a melee hero up against Shaker Warlock, which isn't always ideal, but he's really good just with the push pressure, with the healing ward. He's able to deal with Mirana really well because he's got spin and probably an early poor man shield, so there's nothing that Mirana can do. So I think that that's actually a pretty good mid option. I don't think they'll go into something like, actually the Alchemist was banned out anyways, but I don't think they would pick it up in either case. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now, Kaipi, they have a draft that can work really well in the late game. They have decent lane presence, really good mid game, and even better late game. So I think Kaipi's potential will really ramp up as the game goes on. PR, they're looking to hit hard, hit fast. They're looking like around the time Luna's level 11, start taking tier 2 towers, start taking full control of the map. So I think that that's going to be pretty easy for them to do with any kind of tempo mid, but 5 seconds left on the clock for Afro Ninja's selection.
Razor! Oh, OD. Okay, fair enough. That was the other one I was thinking about. I was just going to say that, like, a lot of those heavy mid lane powerhouse heroes, the Holy Trinity, the OD, the Viper, the Razor, are all kind of back in action again. So I was curious if they wanted to go along that. I was only leaning towards Razor because it's like I could see him hitting that that peaking moment with Luna and kind of making siege and kind of making push. But they opt for the OD instead. Someone else who's really kind of getting back into the limelight of the meta right now. I feel like we've already seen a couple of times already the OD versus Mirana matchup, and I felt like each time I was saying, oh, this didn't seem as heavy-handed for the OD as I was expecting. Is that just a element of Mirana kind of on the up and up, or was that just because of the players of the matchup at the time? I'm curious to see if that's going to be a repetitive case here or not. I mean, it is Sing Sing Mirana after all.
It is a little bit of flavor of the month for the OD to really just come in and do more recently. Some people try to argue that like OD is a soft counter to Morphling in a way, and yeah, the insta-steal can impact him negatively, but I could still see Morphling playing around that relatively easily. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where he brings a lot in terms of different damage sources, and he's generally speaking going to always have a good lane if you skill him properly and if you take the aggressive stance in the lane. But one thing, we're going to see it here.
We may
Boots
see
first, and he doesn't have a quick tree break, so it is going to be a disruption, which should mean he is just going to be killed off straight up. Nice little torrent there to follow through, showing that they have practiced that, and they're going to be able to make use of it multiple times throughout this early laning phase. So already first blood in J4's hands, going to help him get his boots up early so he can keep pace with the Kunkka, and yeah, just overall going to be a really good start for them. But I was going to mention that we actually kind of forgot about the Bambo Earthshaker. This is actually his third most played hero historically. He has 64 games on that Earthshaker, at least on this account, and he played it a lot, I believe, in Dota 1. Actually, another disruption coming out. Are you serious? Another combo coming out. Fluff getting caught out of position. Shadow Word is not going to help you here, my friend. And that is going to be a kill for Kunkka this time around. So the SD Kunkka already 2-0 by the time the horn sounds. Like, this is what you're looking to accomplish in the first 3-4 minutes in the game, and they've got it at second 0.
Couldn't really ask for a fresher head start right now if you're PR. I mean, nowadays, seeing these kind of heavy 5-man smoke movements, I mean, I felt like in seasons past when I'm watching European Dota, that's just every and any game. But nowadays, you're seeing a lot of the more tactical, getting the wards down, having that early lane initiative, that sometimes those heavy smoke movements will come at you when you least suspect it. It happens in this case, and I would imagine they weren't expecting the follow-up there, too. I wasn't even near the top lane, but they will be rewarded with a sweet 2-0 start and already a good way to kind of really get in the head of Kaipi for game number 2. So we'll have to see what kind of recovery Kaipi is going to be finding here. And it could be in the bottom lane. They're looking to go for Cheshire Cat at the same moment, but he is going to be able to barely creep away back under the tower. Bambo's out for blood, though. He was thinking about creeping in and catching him from behind, but it looks like Cheshire Cat will wait by the tower. Yeah,
in this case, they are going to mess up the Disruption Torrent. It looks like they were both trying to go for two things at once and end up essentially 33 is going to go back on the wave, so the Kunkka's trying to catch him off guard with a Flash Torrent from Blind, and J4 is going to just kind of go for the Disruption, the easier way to pull it off. And two ideas at once, neither succeeds, but all the same, they're going to be able to, what they're going to do is control the lane well enough for Luna to get Wand and Boots, and from there they're going to rotate. Actually dive down bottom.
Yeah, bottom lane, they make a committed dive for Cheshire Cat, and that triggers a couple of rotations here from Power Rangers. Both J4 and Goddamn will show up at attendance. Kaipi will quickly pull back, maybe a bit satisfied to force that kind of rotational power. This puts the 1v1 again in the top lane. So
I think as long as Bignum gets Boots next, he's going to be fine in this lane. Actually, Morphling, a little bit of extra damage coming in his way, but there's no mana for the Torrent, so Bone 7 will be okay. But the Luna's going to get pressured less than the Morphling. That's the comparison I want to make here, is that Luna, 1v1 against the against the Bat Rider, is still going to be able to hold his own in this lane well enough, thanks to the early Wand, that he could stay in this situation fine. But they're actually going to keep the trio together. They're going to bring Luna bottom, and you see Cheshire Cat already making his move up top. Now, it's kind of weird to start mana burn in this top lane situation, but he's got an extra skill point for whatever he needs.
Yep. We'll have to see if that will get him back into a solid state here, and if Kaipi's approach to this new bottom lane is going to shift any sort of way, or if they're going to try to keep this more of like a try thing. I say that, but actually Bambo on the move in the mid lane. Look at that, pops off the stun with the back end of a haste. But Aphonninja is a little too far out of position for any sort of committed further aggression. And with that, Bambo will take his business all the way up and towards the top lane, and Kaipi will just kind of situate themselves into a new laning position.
All right, so right now, obviously, we're starting off 13-3 for the Luna, the Morphling 7-3, and having to walk all the way, walk a shame back to base. Somehow it looks like his TP got canceled, so it looks like maybe he got either disrupted or torrented at long range, and wasn't able to make it home the convenient way. So
that's a lot of time away. He might as well be dead with the fact he had to do that long walk all the way back, and now we'll have to do another.
I actually think there are some players that would just have suicided to Ancients or the Secret Shop.
Someone got him a TP or something, looks like. And he was able to make it right back out, but those walk of shames, you know.
All the same. It works out. Bone 7 now where he needs to be. A little bit late and a little bit worse for wear, as Luna is now approaching level 4. And I assume that J4 and Gotham will just look to roam. They'll find a smoke, they'll make their way mid. It's kind of difficult to find it on the Mirana, but what you can do is disrupt and walk past the disruption, assuming that she's going to leap out, and then just catch her on the other side.
Oh. So much setup potential, though, for PR. I mean, when you factor in on top of that something like this Astral 2, which, you know, we didn't say it yet, Aphonninja 3 points into Astral. I've been seeing OD builds all over the place. Committing with Astral, committing no Astral.
The only one who didn't really go for the Astral that I could see was Sing Sing himself.
Yeah.
That didn't really work out for him, so I won't read too much into that.
Just Sing Sing things, I suppose. Nonetheless, Abonnet not looking to take a page out of Sing's book for this one, and kind of being rewarded for it. 18-9 to Sing Sing's 13-5 right now on the Mirani. Still holding close against such a hard hitter in the mid lane. And J4, speaking of hard hitter, he's got a DD rune, and he is trying to get in the face of 3-3 here. Not looking to make anything easy at all for this Bat Rider, whether he's in lane or just trying to find some farm elsewhere. And it looks like he will go elsewhere to the jungle for the Bat.
Yeah, I mean, J4 steals himself a Hellbear, TV's back home, and grabs the smoke. I think this is the most important thing you can do as ST Kunkka, is just get the smoke out as soon as possible. And while they didn't get it for their starting items, now they both got Windlace, Gotham has boots, they're going to get in range for their spells, and all they have to do is just find the right target for it. So they're going to smoke up, they're going to draw the line of the map for the wrap mid, and we'll see if they can actually bring Sing Sing down here.
They wrapped like they were going to go up and around, but I don't know if the opportunity will be there. It looks like Sing Sing fires off the arrow, and he's already heading himself all the way back and away with no more bottle charges and no more mana. He does not want to stick around this mid lane too much longer. So at his convenience, that will be a lost opportunity potentially here for PR. But they'll know the Bat Rider is missing, and they can't investigate the woods here. And they'll turn up and over. They actually ping right where he is. And will they move that direction? Doesn't look like it. Instead, they'll take their business elsewhere, knowing that maybe help will not be close enough. Sing Sing could rotate in possibly, but he actually just went to the mid lane, so he will not be able to. And now they're going to get the X-Torrent combo here. Looking to go for Bambo. Moonlight Shadow could help a bit, but he goes for the deny, and he gets it done! Oh, heads up thinking right there from Bambo. Knows that he's going to be going down regardless because of the dot, and will get the deny.
Very nice timing there from Bambo. Very close call as well as J4 tries to release his Shadow Poison in time. We're not going to have a Torrent follow-up on this disruption in particular, but just a lot of damage coming in against the Morphling here. And again, the Luna is getting the farm she wants. The Morphling is getting suppressed heavily. And that's the main objective here for these supports. But bottom actually going to be the Eclipse attempt to come out instead of Chain Stun on Big Num. And he's going to be going down without his ulti pop. Goes for the Fairy Fire, the Magic Wand.
Will he?
Is he actually going to survive? Oh my god!
He's getting away! He's got 4 stacks. They're so thirsty for this. They got to get it done, and they will. 3-3 with the long range. Will be able to connect with the last right click, but how much of a price will they pay for it? Or will they pay any price at all here? PR looking to make chase. 3-3 heading out up through the lane here. But goddamn here, he's got the mana. Bottling up. Looking to go for the setup here. Pump fakes with the Torrent. Hoping to make him juke back a bit. He's hiding within the trees. Torrent will be off the mark here. But yeah, they have swarmed all the way around him. They have the Astral. And now OD waits for a sweet treat here. Pops off the one shot. But they haven't got him yet.
Oh my god.
But they got the X. Okay. And then the Astral. This is turning into a long-winded pickoff, though, and a lot of time. But they will eventually get it. They will eventually get the revenge for Precious Luna.
Mid lane, there's 4 stacks on Sing Sing. I don't think it's enough. They need the 5th stack and even a little bit more than that. But it'll do a lot of damage, and it will kind of force him on the defensive. It's so easy to underestimate that spell. It's my favorite. Well, actually, one of my favorite spells in the game, just because when you're playing above or whatever, everybody will underestimate the damage potential of that spell. There's actually a cool mechanic that most people won't even know. What you can actually do is spam out your Shadow Poison right when you're about to hit level 3 or 5. And when you level up Shadow Poison to the next level, all of the Shadow Poison that you stacked up before will be that new level. So you can release it with a new amount of damage. So what I do is I start putting on Shadow Poison right when I'm about to hit level 3 or level 5 or maybe even level 7. And you're able to do this insane amount of damage that nobody sees coming.
Mid lane. Aggressive posture here from 3-3 does force out some rotations here by PR. We got Cheshire Cat now on the prowl with his Vendetta, hoping for a catch onto that 3-3 Bat Rider as he heads towards the bottom rune, but 3-3 knows trouble's coming, decides to change course and will avoid the potential onslaught there from PR, and they do get themselves back in a better and safer position. So, as stated, PR back in the grind, and the story continues to be that this Luna just gets everything she needs. Yeah, she was just brought down recently, but still 48 and 12 CS. Hangs up there at the top 3 as far as net worth. OD actually currently claims that position. I'm sure having the 1 kill helps, but you know, yet to really see Kaipi being able to fire off.
Yeah. And even that gank wasn't a sure thing. 33 and Bambo really coordinated well. They used Fisher into Flame Break into Flaming Lasso to prevent Luna from getting an Eclipse off. She started the animation twice. She didn't get it out. If she had, she probably actually turns it for a kill instead. And obviously she nearly got out herself, so that would have been a 1 for 0. But they were able to just use their spells just perfectly enough. The Big Numb does go down, and now has to be a little bit more cautious. He even has himself a infused raindrop in case he gets into a dicey situation again.
And I got to give credit, man, to PR and the support staff. A deep ward planted by the KP Secret Shop spots out a rotation by Sync towards the bottom lane, so they avoid any sort of trouble there. And you can tell this is when Sync wants to kind of move around and try to make an impact with this Mirana, but opportunities are going to become a bit thin if PR can maintain this kind of aggressive vision and see all of the intel that Kaipi are willing to be putting out there. Top lane, though, we do see a serious gathering here from the Power Rangers.
Oh, no.
JR, smokes popped, and as he wants to run on forward for Bone 7, Bone 7 backs up and is now a bit privy to what the hell's happening.
It's a pretty tough situation to open on the Morphling in this case, because obviously if he just gets one spell off, he's gone. So Cheshire Cat can't even open Vendetta into stun unless there's already a Torrent underneath the Morphling's feet. So what you want to combo up is Disruption, Torrent, and then the Vendetta Impale all combined together, but doing so, the Disruption range isn't enough when you break the smoke like that. So kind of unfortunate for J4, a bit of a misstep, but in the end, they are going to take this tier 1 top no matter the case.
As they move in for that one, Afo Ninja doing his own part to try to get some softening up on this mid-tier 1. Bambo here now. Bambo had been quiet since the very early portion of this game where he was on the bad end of a couple of ganks, but now at 0-2 and level 6.5, he's trying to grind his way back, I would imagine, into getting closer towards that Blink Dagger here and now. Casual arrow for goddamn. Moonlight Shadow popped off now. I guess Bambo's trying to run in for just an invis dunk, but I mean, they did have a high ground ward, did PR. I don't think they saw that. They might have, actually. It was pretty close, but we'll see. They're still avoiding lots of trouble. Bambo's still nearby, though, so we'll see. They continue to perch and just kind of play watch for the meantime.
I do like that Kaipi's taking an aggressive stance on this side of the map here, where essentially Power Rangers want to build up both the OD and the Luna. The best way they can do that is jungling one and pushing out the lanes of the other, but in the end, I think Power Rangers, the easiest thing they can do is just continue to push out a mid and top lane and take advantage of the Dire jungle in turn. Like, Kaipi aren't mobile necessarily. It's until the Blink Dagger comes out on 33 now, but otherwise it's really hard for them to make a really quick engagement. The one thing they can do is start with Moonlight Shadow and TP, but obviously the last one didn't succeed the way it needed to, and yeah, now PR kind of just able to force out the lanes. Morphling will get his farm, but at the same time, Kaipi don't have a clear way to move to fix their current situation in the laning phase.
We'll see no movement as mid lane will go into the pocket here of PR. And as you mentioned, the pressure continues between that top and mid lane. Just as they get that mid, they head up north now. Bambo shows himself in lane, and any inch like that will allow opportunities like this. An X into a Torrent, a quick Vendetta strike as Cheshire Cat will claim the last hit, and PR will pull ahead 4-1.
I would just have to say in general that Kaipi's heroes aren't great at reacting. They're good at being active. They're going to find out got him here, but in the meantime, they're going to be defensively disrupted, maybe even imprisoned as they go in onto their new target.
There is going to be the rock drop from Fluff. We'll catch 2. He loses his own life. The golem will stay up, but at the end of the day, if you count in the early Bambo lead, and it's a 2-for-1 trade, and now a rock going to be on cooldown. PR simply stepped back and could kind of wait this one out and then look to make their next move. While this continues to happen, Luna hasn't even been involved. She continues to farm up in this bottom lane, and similar to like the style of an alchemist, it's something you still have to consider. She's a growing beast in the works here. Bone 7's close. I don't know if Kaipi are hoping for a setup. It looks like they are. They smoked. They're looking to creep on in. Can they get the jump on Luna? Oh, look who's nearby. Afo Ninja. Or sorry, Cheshire Cat, Vendetta, and running on in. This could turn into a bait as they want to get Big Numb, who has Eclipse ready to go. They go right for the dunk, right for the Torrent, and look at that. They will be able to burst him down very fast.
Double damage turn to the Morphling and a lot of agility stacked up allows him to clear that one out with the combo of the Earthshaker. And yeah, I feel like maybe PR could be a little bit better on their sentry placements at this point in time. But yeah, they're staying mobile, they're staying active, and now that that's all said and done, they're going to actually look to gank up Bone, who doesn't have a Lincoln Sphere yet. Will he get this replicate out is the real question.
There's the Vendetta, there's the stun, there's the X, there's the boat. Still not enough.
He doesn't have a replicate now. They actually are just going to be able to lock him down with Purge, and while he may be really tanky, I think he's still going to go down.
It's a slow movement away, but they have plenty to make chase with. They got the X and they got the pullback. You look like you can creep away, but PR, man, they have a serious chase game, and they're continuing to show it here. Casual X on the Bamboo. Apo Ninja wants to run in to get some work done. The stun flies out, but it only stops him just for a little bit. There's the follow from the Astral. Cheshire Cat waits for the stun. They both miss, though. The timing just a bit off the mark. And Bamboo is able to kind of just step away. So for now, PR will just have to take that one as it is and walk back out. They do get redemption for that Luna pickoff earlier. Oh, they're not going to be able to get the 9 in the mid lane. That one will be claimed by Kaipi. Sing Sing up and away on the Mirana, and will TP home. Blaze, what about for Sing Sing now? When are we going to get to see him really play the game? I mean, it's 15 minutes in, 0-0-0, still working towards the Agnum Scepter. When does the Mirana become a big thing here? But I have to hold that answer because Bamboo's in trouble once again. Bottom lane, right under the tower. He will be going down, and they're going to get the follow-up. Cheshire Cat with a killing spree as he helps claim the life of Fluff there at the end. PR continuing to escalate here. 33 will be able to get the flame break bump back. Disruption will come out from J4 defensively. Torrent to fly, and with the boat coming in, Kaipi cannot pursue, and PR will be able to walk away.
It's really hard for Kaipi to be sure of any one course of action, because if you go in for like a little pickoff, you go like lasso into arrow, so you're getting this Sing Sing involved. What's going to end up happening is either the Shadow Demon disrupts the target, or if the Shadow Demon gets lasso, then the OD will imprison the target, and it just makes it very difficult to actually find those kind of quick picks. So they have to go for a 5-man fight that requires the Rock, which in this case was a 165-second cooldown that was wasted up top. Essentially means that they had to wait a long time to go for anything more than what we saw with that little Invis DD rune play. So yeah, it really, to get involved.
Oh.
And that
Sing,
actually should be a
mid lane, spotted. Tries to leap away, but the X was already there, and as pops a Moonlight Shadow, Bamboo jumps in, gets off his own dunk. Nice arrow connection. Batrider picks up both. Sing is able to kind of get some work in now, and quickly Kaipi claimed the lives of 2. And with this bit of momentum, they quickly hustle down this mid lane to see if they can get any sort of possible objective follow-up, but happy to just take the winnings here.
Yeah, realized a little bit too late that the gankers were becoming the ganked, and just the fact that that kind of imprisonment will buy enough time for the reinforcements to come in really makes things difficult. We're going to see Cheshire Cat disengage, but underneath the Central Ward, he's still going to be flame break right back in. The Coon making things happen. They still had some vision for a moment, but it's suddenly run out, and Bamboo not quick enough for the forward sentry, and even then it's still a hard bug to squish.
Really is.
I gotta say though, the Coon's farm has been really impressive. He's 114 last hits. He's gotten 4 kills for himself after that double. He's actually the top of the net worth as a Batrider of all things.
Doing Bone 7 proud, Blaze. As he's continuing to lurk about in this mid lane here. He's definitely been making some serious waves in setup. He's got his full Batrider tool belt, if you will, good to go with the Blink and the Force Staff. So we'll have to see what he wants to kind of go for there on top of it. Whether it be the BKB or not, we'll have to wait momentarily as he will farm through the PR woods here. Kaipi with that swing and hit on the chin of kind of taking back the reins of some sort of dominance, because Luna is now in a more of an isolated state, farming through the woods a bit. Things have kind of slowed down, but PR do begin to migrate towards the southern part of this map. Sing to show himself, but just as fast as he does, he has to get on back. Don't want to risk getting caught up in many more X-mark plays. He's one step away from finishing the Ags, though, so that's when Mirana really can jump the gun.
And that's a really big power spike for Kaipi, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's looked bad so far. Fluff hasn't been able to contribute the way he's wanted to, and Sing Sing, again, that's his first kill involvement all game. But that might just be enough for them to stabilize their early game and move in towards what, as I mentioned, the stronger mid and late game. Like, if they get one BKB out, or if they just get a way to mitigate the damage coming in from Eclipse and Pote, then they're going to be in a good spot. Like, they don't have great natural pipe carriers, but as long as they can extend the fight, their items will start doing work for them, especially the Aghanim's. So, while the early game wasn't that great, and obviously they've been down 3 kills, if you look at the graph, it's been swinging back and forth, and now it's slightly favoring Kaipi. It's been a very back and forth start, which is great for them because they're not the early game team.
They will be able to secure a tier 1 here in the bottom lane, will PR, and open up some more options for themselves to be able to creep in and possibly claim a Rosh in the near future. But while they feel like they have the momentum, they're going to keep the push going. Maybe not respecting Kaipi in their team fight. Bamboo moves in from the trees. A big X-Torn combo. Big Num looking to go in for the finish. Can't really make chase. Blocked back a bit. Bamboo will be able to walk away with his life. While this happens, still Sing continuing to move down this mid lane. And top lane, lasso connection, pull back. The Rock is there. Looking to go for the burst for Cheshire Cat, and goddamn, can they get both of them? Yes, they can. 2 go down. Arrow gonna connect onto J4. Here come Kaipi, a swinging. They're gonna take 3. They're gonna take 4 with the Luna there at the back end. The Dire on the up and up. A heavy push for PR in the bottom lane, but once action breaks out on the other side of the globe, they are only trickling in 1 by 1, and that is not going to be enough to stop Kaipi.
Yeah, and it goes back to something that I remember Fluff and Stuff tweeting like a year and a half ago. He said essentially that if you're, or maybe it was Aoi, but either way, it was if you're not starting with upheaval early and you're not maxing it out, you're playing Warlock wrong. And it was either Aoi or 2000 or Fluff and Stuff mentioned that essentially this upheaval skill is good. It's really, really good. And while we have seen Ice and other newer Warlocks deviate further into Fatal Bonds, which has more potential theoretically, this Upheaval really works well with their lineup, where essentially you're getting caught in Fissure into Upheaval, and then all you have to do is just play 1 coat of Firefly over top of that, and the Kuhn's able to do so much damage through the course of it. He is their highest farmer, and they are treating him like it with something like Upheaval, which they can channel on multiple heroes, get them locked inside the fire and the flames, and from there, like, they'll just keep burning and burning. So at this point, I could see even 33 going for like a BKB and just kind of going on the front line. Just saying, okay, well, maybe my lassos won't be great because Shadow Demon and OD, but my Firefly and my Napalm and my Flame Break will always do work.
I suppose they have a lot of ways to cancel the upheaval, but they're going to be spending it mostly on some of the bigger, heavier cores here. Mid lane, we're going to have action break out as they look to move on in. They see J4, they're looking to burst him down. Can they get it done in time? He gets a self-disruption off, and it looks like he'll be good for now, but an arrow is going to be quickly there, and they will be able to get the finish. Back at mid lane, Afo Ninja and company looking to retreat back, but 3-3 is there. Chasing on in, will not commit. And Kaipi, with advantage in numbers now, move forward for another objective grab, possibly onto a tier 2, but look at this, lead in from Bamboo, nice connection onto 2, making a dunk, and they drop down both of them. Kaipi with another swing of momentum coming their way with 2 back-to-back big fights, looking to kind of break this series with a 1-1 split and get their first win at the BTS series.
Yeah, Bone had like 2 seconds left on the replicant in mid, was kind of essentially dictating where the fight would take place, kind of calling out to his team, okay, we need to make the moves here, we need to get aggressive, and if we find a pickup, I'm coming, boys. And they go for the Echo, they go for the Wave, they go for the clean double kill. That's going to be very hard for PR to deal with. I mean, even Big Nub doesn't have enough mana. He has to pop his wand, get this Eclipse out, and there's a creep wave on top of it, so it's going to be very ineffective. Right now, they're just in full defense, and Kaipi have been running them over. Taking all of the mid lane, putting some good chip damage on bottom as well. Kaipi have this map to themselves, and that's going to be really, really good for them as this game goes on.
Not able to get the finish, unfortunately, onto tier 3, but have done enough work to really solidify their spot at the top of this game right now. That, as mentioned, the graph looks so spiky because it was so back and forth, but here the biggest lead so far easily going the way of Kaipi as we get up towards the 7K net worth advantage. They can now run on back and reap in the new rewards that come their way.
Back and forth is one way to put it. I'll just say that it was damn close. Like, I mean, if you look at the actual, like, the highest peak of it, it's not even 500 gold. It was just a really, really close game, and now suddenly one really good set of fights, good movement from Kaipi, some pro action instead of reaction, which is what their lineup, again, is really good at. Suddenly, they're finding themselves 7,500 net worth favoring them. And
we were seeing a lot of like you'll pick off my big core, and then I'll pick off your big core by doing all these fancy moves. So yeah,
they're trying to like rotate a Warlock to defend somebody, and he's not like an Abaddon or a Disruptor or a Shadow Demon who's like, bam, bam, I'm casting spells that affect this fight. He's like, Shadow Word, 10 seconds from now, you'll be in really good condition. It's not quick enough. Like, you have 3-second delay on your TP, then you're casting a spell. It takes several seconds to take effect. Upheaval or Shadow Word are both in that kind of bag there of really delayed abilities that are very powerful, but only at full duration. So don't play reactive Dota,
you know?
Play proactive Dota, set up the fight for yourself, be there before it starts, and that way you can get the full extent of your abilities. That's the key.
Yeah. Kaipi obviously having a lineup that really just thrives in these long-winded kind of a fights, so if they're able to put themselves in that kind of situation, you can see the benefits that they're going to be able to reap from it here. PR not been able to really kind of make any sort of stride past the river since then, just kind of picking up the pieces and fixing all the damage that had been done as they hunt back into the lane here. Probably contemplating now what kind of new buddy system they might have to put in order. I mean, Bignum now looking to go for the big stack, but look who's already there waiting for him. Kaipi looking to hope to use it as a bit of a trap here. A big jump in from 3-3, but already out the back door. PR are not going to allow themselves to get caught, but I may have spoken too soon. Looks like they might have to be able to get a grab here onto Kunkka. 3-3's making chase while back on the other side. Fluff could be shot out from Cheshire Cat. It looks like he will be going down. Can they get the save here for Kunkka? They're going to give him the Astral, and now they jump in. They look to go for 3-3. He pops his own BKB, and then there's going to be the boat. The rum could help here. 3-3. Don't want to get overzealous, trying to go for a simple Kunkka kill. Looks like he'll eventually be able to get the finish. While Apo Ninja up in arms with Bone 7 begins to right-click him down a bit. Self-Astral here. They'll finally get that finish for 3-3, making it a 2-for-2 split. Power Rangers getting themselves back inside the base. Bone 7 doesn't care. He wants to go all the way deep. Sing Sing in the meantime will be able to get the finish on the OD, coming just after the Sanity's Eclipse, which he will be able to walk away from. A 3-for-3 at the end of the day. Bone 7, though, still inside, getting what work he can done. One shot on the big numb before he will replicate back and out.
Slight advantage by the metrics for Power Rangers there, as they are the team behind. They are able to get more gold out of that exchange, but I think it's just goes to show how hard it is to kill some of these heroes when that Kunkka's realm is active on them. You got the disruption, you've got the imprisoned, you've got a 50% delayed damage effect, and it just makes it so that, like, Cocoon was running all over him for the longest of time. Even when Gautam made a mistake and X'd himself instead of the Batrider, it was still him taking forever to kill off this guy and barely hitting him at the last second of when he got past his own tier 3 into safety.
Fluff unfortunately walking out into that bottom lane a bit too far from home and a bit alone. Will allow the swift pick off there from Cheshire Cat. He's just doing what a Nyx Assassin's got to do.
Yeah, and
really.
I think at this point you have to adjust your item build. I think that obviously his net worth in general is in question at 2,400, but once he starts getting gold, pick up stuff like infused raindrops, even like bracer or power treads, just something to build your health pool. If you can get just straight up combo by a Nyx before you can heal yourself, before you can do anything to react, then you're just food for him.
As they reset back here, PR. Know that Kaipi have been keeping a constant watch over that bank of Ancient Camp. So now not looking to kind of spread too far that way. Cheshire Cat, though, heads right up in there. And Vendetta, they don't quite have the sentry. He gets the Vendetta strike off, but will miss the stun. Bamboo still being chased here. They're trying to coax him into an awkward spot towards an arrow, but that will not connect. The arrow's going to be off, and Fisher's there. Sing runs in, though. He might be caught in a bit of an awkward position here. With the setup of the Astral Imprisonment, they're going to knock him down with the Lucent Beam. There's going to be the leap, and now 3-3 does make his jump in. Lassos, hog ties, pulls back Apo. Apo is going to get saved with a disruption play. The rock's going to be committed from Fluff, and now comes Kaipi looking to run on forward. PR, though, heading out the back path. Possibly going to be in a good position, but then Apo Ninja does get jumped up in from Bambo. Hits with the dunk. He gets off everything he can before he could be brought down. One last swing will get the finish. Taking out Cheshire Cat, and double buybacks are going to be forced from the Power Rangers now. Kaipi, I don't know if they want to be sticking around from this one. Hoping to force PR to kind of go into that investment bank and then regret it later. They quickly pull out a retreat, and it looks like they may be able to make it away.
And that's one of the nice things about Kaipi's lineup is they aren't like all in one basket of tricks. They are not just single target focused team. Like where you saw 33, he ran with the BKB, he was just barely able to grab the OD, and then the Shadow Diva was like, nope, you're disrupted, and then OD self-presents himself as soon as the lasso ends, so essentially nullifying that entire initiation. Now you've got more options at your disposal. You've got this E-Blade just that came out on both 7, and much more importantly, they just got a Rain of Chaos on top of a Fatal Bonds on top of an Echo Slam, and it just eradicates PR because they're so focused on keeping one hero alive that they start clumping themselves into this little concave, into this little small area that can be exploited by their 2 remaining heroes. So if you're isolated, you're going to be killed off by the Batrider and friends. If you're not, then it's going to be Bambo's game as well as Fluff's to just dunk it in.
Seems like Kaipi have put together a pretty nice lineup to have all bases covered in that instance here, and it might only become easier for some of those to be able to land off those crucial shots. I mean, imagine if there's a point, maybe Fluff can throw together something like an Ether Lens. We obviously see the benefits of Bamboo now having that Blink Dagger. He almost has his Force now done. And they already anticipate that PR are looking to go in for the Roche to try to bring this game back, but they are waiting for him, and 3-3 makes his move. Nice pullback for Apo Ninja, and they blast him down right away. This OD is out of the game for 70 seconds, and Kaipi say, don't even bother moving in for the Roche. This one is going to be ours, and they're not done yet. Bamboo looking to make a move in. The caught out J4. Nice fissure. The boat will fly out. It does connect onto 2. Even though J4 got off the self-disruption, it's only going to delay the inevitable here. Goddamn. Oh! is going to be able to barely make it back it away. But as I say that, he gets burnt on up even inside his own fountain, and 3-3 will also claim that life. Kaipi take 3 all around that Roche pit and then move in to take down the big boy himself.
I said before that the devil is in the details when it comes to Dota 2, and this is no exception here. This is actually such a small play that changes so much. When the Batrider went in, when Cocoon went in to lasso the OD, he put out a napalm as well. Maybe just instinctively, maybe just casually, but what ended up happening was the Shadow Demon had the turn radius slow and couldn't disrupt. He was just like, it was a slow motion, no!
Molasses. Yeah.
And he just couldn't get the disruption off. So E-Blade combo, the fight is over before it begins, and even without the big ultis, they take an engagement. Now, Power Rangers backs against the wall, Bone 7, with one of the best Aegis carriers in the game on this Morphling, and now he's going to be just hammering down a lane. Again, buybacks were used, so this is a very dangerous spot for PR to be in over the next 5 minutes.
This is going to feel like a bit of a backhanded compliment at the start, but it's finally we're able to see Kaipi kind of on the up and up, and that's when a team like this really succeeds, when they have momentum, when they have the morale. They seem to be able to kind of be able to push and just hold on to that kind of, initiative. So we'll see. It goes the other way. I mean, we saw in the last game, Bambo, when things don't work out, you get a bit frantic, you get a bit upset. But when things go great, you're feeling yourself. And Bambo is one of those kind of players. So
I thought that was Sing Sing, but
they all love to feel themselves. Let's be honest here. But bottom lane, moving in right now, PR, they can only take so many more of those kind of skirmishes before they're going to have to be in a position where they're defending in for their own base, their own life. Tier 2 in jeopardy now. Kaipi moving in, and it doesn't seem like PR want to have anything of it. They might just kind of hold things out until they're going to be forced to defend inside their own high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But really, when you look at the picture overall, is we are going to have a bit of a pause here. 1 minute, it looks like, for PR. We have to evaluate how good is their high ground defense. Are they going to be able to do it? You'll have people like the Shadow Demon and company hanging in the back lines to be a get out of jail free card, but I would say KP have just as many good options to be able to initiate, to be able to breach into the high ground or slow siege.
Yeah, the big thing is that there is not much wave clear from Power Rangers, and Eclipse is designed to fight away from the creep wave. You want it to only be hitting heroes. Even if it hits all heroes, it's a hard fight. But if it's hitting creeps half the time, then you're in a really bad spot. So the problem is you're going to have these big creep waves that nobody has a way to deal with. I mean, used to be that you could just do like a little X mark play on the Kunkka. He runs in and Tidebringers it. But this guy hits for like 120. Even with the bonus damage from Tidebringer, he's not going to be able to wipe a wave. And it's just going to be hard from there.
Pause lifted now as Kaipi are going to be making their approach down the southern door of the PR base. PR just were able to kind of relieve a bit of the pressure there from both the top and the mid lane.
Going out.
Okay, they're moving on in here. Cheshire Cat sees an opening to make a move for Fluff, and then we'll have to pull back it away. Pops his Carapace. Is he going to be able to make it back inside the safety of his team? No! 3-3 will commit in with the lasso to ensure the finish on that Nyx Assassin. He'll be out of the game for about a minute. And now in a 5 versus 4.
Oh, arrow on Luna.
Looking to move in. Big arrow connection from Sing. Bambo tries to fall with a big dunk. It will be off the mark as there's a good force to put her in a better spot, but she still goes down. They won't be forced to pull out her buyback, and now PR have to hold to stay alive. KP, though, have already eaten a lot of damage, and they're already on the way back out here, and will be forced to reset if they want to make a new approach.
But that's okay. They didn't lose the Aegis. They can get all the Adachi back on the Morphling, and they can just go again. They have a buyback off of the Luna. So if Luna dies, so too it does PR's hope of winning this game. Like, they are so dependent on her output of damage. The OD can't do it by himself with his current items. So all they have to do is isolate or focus down the Luna, and Shadow Demon just has to be perfect on his defensive disruption. I don't really blame him for the last one. That was a very, it was the E-Blade that killed him more than anything. And then J4 was able to at least disrupt the most important target, which is the Morphling. But yeah, end of the day, Power Rangers, they can't slip up at all. There's just too much going against them. And if Kaipi just want to wait the 100 seconds for the Reign of Chaos, that's fine. They're going to be able to use that Golem to great effect in the high ground fight. And again, if Luna dies, that's it.
So with time on the side of Kaipi here, they'll try to get the creep equilibrium back towards the side of PR, so they're pressured from all fronts, and any opportunity Kaipi can get to kind of spread PR thin and have an advantage in numbers is certainly a way for them to kind of close this game out sooner than later. But here we see Bone 7 ambitiously moving on in. Obviously has the replicate to jump back to here. But just as he moves in, he gets quickly hit up and disabled a bit. There's a disruption. Sing Sing doesn't quite catch anyone with the arrow. And Bone 7 will just readjust and head off to the bottom lane here. But Kaipi just continuing to let PR know we're here, we're outside. Don't feel too comfortable going out and trying to find your own farm.
But this is nice where a Shadow Word can actually pay off. Urn of Shadows and Shadow Word are great at healing in neutral situations because they're extremely cost effective, and as long as you have time on your side, you can bring this hero back up to full. So Morphling ready to rumble, and he's going in. First Kunkka.
Moonlight Shadow setup. Bone 7 goes in and instantly shoots down that Kunkka. 3-3 looking for the follow-up, going for Afro Ninja. He does get a disruption save. Now Eclipse firing off from Big Numb. Look at the blast pack Kaipi if possible. They do bring down Bambo, who is going to be forced to buy back. He's already running down the mid lane here, but Kaipi in a 4v4, we'll see about holding on and keep moving.
But this
in.
is setting up the perfect timing. Bone 7 still has Aegis for another minute, and the Reign of Chaos is going to be up in 12 seconds. So they have this 30 to 40 second window where they are at full strength, full potential, and they're ready to go in. There's no BKB on the Luna, there's no Eclipse. This is Kaipi's game to take right here, right now.
Let's see if they can do it. And there is the rock. It's up and ready to go. Fluff will be waiting on the backhand side. Can PR stop Kaipi from closing this out? Bambo makes the first move. It's going to be right onto Luna. Sing Sing goes for the arrow. Will connect, but they don't want to dive too deep. Not for this one. 3-3 and Bone 7 on the other side going in deep. There's the rock. It's going to be dropped. It does connect for 2, but PR are not going to be caught under it for too much extra damage. Well, Cheshire Cat may. Here goes the molasses slow coming out from Fluff, not allowing him to crawl back home. Sing Sing, though, caught under a torrent, under a boat, eating a lot of damage here. Lucent Beam. Can he creep back it away? It looks like he will be good.
Oh.
That tier 3 does go down. Rax is exposed, but not a whole lot of firepower coming out from Kaipi to be able to close this one. So PR begin to make their move back in. Cheshire Cat gets a hold of Fluff, connects nicely with the Impale. Bone 7 on the other side. He blasts on in, moves on out, and they will get him down. Eventually, in the end, he gets dropped. The Sans Eclipse is certainly bringing in a lot of the big bulk of the damage from that one. Luna stays alive. On the back of her BKB, will be able to etch back inside her home.
He's going to blink in.
They got him with the arrow. You're not going to be making it away. He was just on the doorstep of his fountain, and he can't get it in. Kaipi pull off now, and they will finally be able to finish off the Rax here at the bottom lane.
I mean, I gotta say PR did the best they could with that situation. As soon as I saw all these big spells coming out, the Echo, the Rock, they were running for their fountain, they were trying to reset the fight, and they did a good job with that, but still, all they got out of it was the Morphling killed off twice, and he's not the only one who could deal damage in this. Sing Sing shows it with a leap blink forward, finishes the job, and here we go. Bottom lane completely eradicated. Now Sing Sing and team pounding on mid, and that's going to be a 4 Rax advantage here for Kaipi Gaming.
Oh, for sure. Luna still going to be out also for about 50 seconds time. There they take the melee Rax. It looks like they'll have to let the range stay. Fluff, who tries to TP out, will be caught out from Cheshire Cat. He might be the one sacrifice here. In fact, it seems like he's accepted it. Moonlight Shadow, though, actually keeps him alive, and he'll just casually walk on over, but it looks like they have been able to spot him. He drops a ward while he can. It might have been spotted, but his one sacrifice for so much of an advantage, I'm sure, is going to be just fine. Yeah. Sing Sing, man, he had a pretty slow start. Could not help but point it out. You know, you were 10 minutes or so in, 0-0-0, but man, he's making up for it now. 6-1 and 18 already.
Absolutely. And yeah, they have this 3 Rax advantage. They have 2 great observer wards. One is just dead center in the middle of the base, and one towards the secret shop where they're going to be seeing any courier items moving through, any big ticket items coming out for Power Rangers. So they've got great intel, they've got great lane pressure, and they've got a lot of time on their hands. They can play this game as slow as they want to. If they want to play the next 20 minutes and just go like super passive farming and Roshan and that's it, that's perfectly acceptable, a way to guarantee the game. But Kaipi, you know that they're a little bit more involved. They're probably going to be looking to press their advantage while they still have it, and they're going to be looking at Roche and ending the game very, very soon.
Cheshire Cat is in a bit of an awkward spot here. He was hiding within the top lane, and they were searching for him, and eventually the Bloodhounds sniff him out, and he goes down. About a minute, he will be taken out from this game here, but Kaipi will be taking the extra nod and now bringing back some new pressure into the PR home. And this time, Kaipi will have some extra firepower to work with. They demonstrate a bit of it here in the bottom lane. I get there at the last second, but it's only to see the bloody corpse and remains of the OD who had just got blasted down by Bone 7.
I was going to talk about how little that Nyx Assassin pickoff actually means, because you're not saying, okay, we can push high ground, now there's no Nyx, and especially with the creeps in the position that they are. But now they got the OD down too. You better believe they're going to just be batting down the hatches and pressuring the lane as quickly as they can. Again, this Eclipse does not fight well in the creep waves, and you've got a double wave here up on top.
Bambo waiting in the pocket here, both him and 3-3. Hiding in the rafters here, Blaze, hoping to find that one target to jump and close the game out, preferably something like a sweet Luna. But Luna can't even defend her own base, forced to sit, waiting behind, finally creeps on forward, sees 3-3, bops him with the little Lucent Beam so he can't blink, but there he'll be able to. A jump and fall from Bambo is going to be a big dunk and a big rock. Here comes all the kit and caboodle from Kaipi to be able to close this game out. Sing Sing moves into the back of a BKB. The Eclipse will fire through from Big Num and rewards him 1 kill. But Kaipi are going to be rewarded with the game and with their first win in the BTS series.
And that means there's still hope yet for the group stage here for Kaipi. While it has started as pretty much as bad as it could have, now they have 1 win under their belt. They 2-0 the next one. There's a chance they're at least going to tiebreakers. So they're going to give it their all throughout the rest of the tournament year. They have been able to at least save their pride at the very least. Going out 0-4 throughout one of their first big tournaments with Fluff. I know they played like maybe 6 officials before this one, but I think it's a really big, just to get that motivator to move on to the next one, not to be like, oh, who am I going to kick next? Who's off the list? No, let's pull it back together, work as a team, learn from your mistakes, learn from your losses, and then push forward as a brand new team.
Yeah, definitely. Even just between this 2-game series, I could already tell, especially for a team like Kaipi, there is a lot to reflect on, a lot to look back, checking the replay, especially game number 1, and being able to take that bit of intel and progress your gameplay. So, got to give respect to PR2. They had a fantastic game number 1. They continue to look solid. I believe this means for them, I don't know if you said it, but they have 2 split series now. 1 point, 1 point, 2 points for them. Also kind of in a good contending spot. They will hope to close out their next series with a 2-0 to help secure their number 1 spot in the group and move on into the playoffs. But we will not be able to witness them neck blaze. Coming up next, I believe we have... What do we got here? We have, I have it up on one of these tabs.
Adfinem versus Power Rangers.
Adfinem versus Power Rangers. I'm excited about this. I'm a big fan of Adfinem, watching them through the online stage, and then we got to hang out with them at the summit, and they were an awesome group.
Oh, yeah.
Very emotional, very, very passionate. Should be a doozy of a match, and I just said we might not watch Power Rangers, but apparently we have a Power Rangers doubleheader, so it'll be Adfinem versus PR.
Exactly, and that will be a pretty defining matchup for Power Rangers. If they can take that series, they're going to be able to move forward. If they just get another draw, I think they're out, just based on the fact that Elements were able to find their 2-0. We'll do the math on it as we close out the day, but for right now, Power Rangers and Adfinem, obviously, I think this is Adfinim's debut. Yeah, they couldn't play until the 21st, so that's why we get them here and now. And
how much Madara Slark are we going to see? I'm excited for this one. These guys are great. So we'll take a small break, and when we come back, Adfinem versus Power Rangers. We'll see you guys soon for that one.